In this video, I'll show you a free-to-play team to beat Trumpeter at level 25. Trumpeter has probably the most complicated gimmick maybe, or the longest gimmick of all. It's literally an essay, man. But I'll try my best to summarize it for you guys. So this battle has 3 phases. The first and second phase, you'll be fighting 4 riders. And in the last phase, the third phase, you fight only Trumpeter. The last phase is the easiest one. Trumpeter only has like 20,000 health, so it's super easy to beat him. You only need to worry about first and second phase. So all the riders have a soul link, which means AoE is very good here. And how it works, how this fight works is that every turn there's gonna be somebody that's gonna use a horn. So the first turn, it's gonna be the white rider and the red rider who is gonna use the horn. And then the second turn is gonna be the black rider and the pale rider. And then the third turn is gonna be Trumpeter who is gonna use the horn. And then the fourth turn is gonna repeat back to white rider and red rider. And then fifth turn is gonna be black rider and pale rider. The sixth turn is gonna be Trumpeter again. So it's gonna be the same cycle again and again until you beat all the riders in the first 2 phases. And the nice thing is that the game will tell you who is gonna use the horn. So you can just go to the description and see. Okay, now I talk about the horns and stuff, right? What are the horns actually? So the horns is basically some sort of skill that they will trigger, and each of the rider and Trumpeter has different effects that they can trigger. And you can actually stop those effects if you inflict a spiritual ailment. A spiritual ailment is basically sleep, forget, dizzy, like all those stuff, and those are key to beat this stage. You need a spiritual ailment to beat this stage. We'll get into that later on. But we'll talk about the individual riders first. So the white rider is Horn of Pestilence. It will decrease the max HP of 1 random character, so it's a debuff on you. Red rider will use Horn of War, and this will activate a counter attack for 1 turn. So what this means is that when you attack red rider, it will attack you back. It's basically a counter attack. This one is actually the least worrying of all of them, in my opinion, because the counter attack doesn't really hit that hard. But you do need to be careful if your character has very low health. If let's say, okay, for this fight I'm using An, if let's say An has like 500 health, then I attack the red rider, I will die because the red rider counter attack and kill. Then the next one is black rider. This one we use Horn of Famine. This will increase the SP cost of 1 random character. It's about, I think it's about 10% increase. It depends on what the parameters you take, but I think the basic one is 10%. So you will be starving of SP, but it's not too bad because you can always just guard. Then we have Pale Rider. This one is probably the worst one of them all. Pale Rider uses Horn of Death. This one will decrease the healing effect of you, so you heal less, and then will increase the damage the shadows will do. So that is basically like a 2-in-1 effect, so I think this is the scariest one of all of them. And then lastly, the main boss himself, Trumpeter. All 4 riders, they can use horns, right, for the first 2 turns, and 2 each. So 2 in 1 turn, 2 in the second turn. If you ignore the horns, if you don't use the spiritual ailment on those riders, and those riders use the horns, Trumpeter will gain the Power Ruin stack. So each horn is 1 stack, so it can stack up to 4 horns. And you do not want Trumpeter to stack 4 horns because it's terrible. We'll get to that later, but like I said, the best way to prevent that is use a spiritual ailment. And so on the third turn, Trumpeter will use Horn of Ruin, which will consume the Power Ruin stack to do almighty damage to everybody. And the number of Power Ruin stacks that he uses determines the strength of this almighty damage. And it's as follows here. So 1 stack is gonna be more damage, 2nd stack also more damage, 3rd stack you'll heal all the shadows, 4 stacks is a guaranteed critical hit. So you do not want it to get to 4 stacks. This is super scary. This one is basically the second phase. So once you kill the first phase, all the 4 riders, Trumpeter will reduce its own HP by half to revive all the 4 riders. So this fight is super tedious. It takes a long time, and they also hit very hard, so it's gonna be difficult to stall for a long time. So you do need a pretty strong DPS. And then once you kill the second phase, you will go to third phase, which is Trumpeter himself. This one, easiest one. You can probably kill it in 1 turn. Third phase is basically called the Mania state, and it won't really damage you, but instead it will still get the buffs. So the 1, 2, 3 stacks, right, it will still get the buff, which is actually not that bad because again, you can kill Trumpeter very fast, so you don't really have to worry much. So this last point is the least concerning one. So now let's go into the battle effects. All of this is pretty much the same thing. All of this is actually exactly the same thing. Exactly the same. The only difference is this feel because it's a different boss, right? So we can start from the end here. So we are using an An team, so we take this one because An is fire. Then we are not going to use any buffers here. but we will need the debuffer because we need to inflict the spiritual element. Then this one is the longer cooldown for the navigator. Then we can take the shield here. The healing one I'm not gonna touch because we do need healing, and then the boss can also reduce our healing. So if I take this and then the boss reduce healing, it's gonna be very tough. Then the stats, I'm not gonna touch any of this. Then now we can go into the boss. I'll quickly go through all of this. So I'm taking all the 2-1 except for this one because this one is the attacking one because they do quite a bit of damage, so I'm a little bit scared that they'll kill my team. So I reduce this one is still 25%. Horn of Death is basically the buffing, the damage buff from Pale Rider. So 25% I decrease to 15. But anyways, let's start from here. So this first one is the Horn of Pestilence. This one is the one that reduces your HP. So it now changes to 3 random foes, which is pretty scary now because previously it was only 1. And then the next one is this, also Horn of Pestilence, and now the HP down effect is now increased to 20%, so 20% less HP on you. And then White Rider also has higher attack. This one Horn of Famine, you will use more SP now, and Black Rider will do more damage also because higher attack. Then this one Horn of Famine becomes 3 targets, and Black Rider's HP increase. This one Horn of Death, this one is the one that decreases your healing. It's now to 50%, so you're gonna heal like half only, which is quite bad. And then Pale Rider will also do more damage. So you can see that a lot of this has a bunch of damage stuff, which is why I also want to reduce the damage here because it's very scary. They actually hit pretty hard, especially if you don't inflict the ailment, because the ailment is also like one of the luck part of this fight. Now this one, the counter attack damage will increase, which is not too bad. The only one that's scary is this one, which you probably need to take if you're doing level 40, because now the counter attack applies to all the riders. Previously it was only the one that activates it, which is Red Rider. But this one will activate for all the riders. So if you use like AoE, you're gonna be counter attacked 4 times. So that's why it's scary. Then the last one, this one the duration increased by 1, and the max HP increase. So this one is kind of 3 points, I guess, because it doesn't really do much. Like I said, the counter attack is not that bad as long as you don't take this one. Free 3 points, and then the max HP does suck, but I would take that over higher attack because they hit hard. And now we can go to the team. The team is definitely very important here, especially the persona section because of the spiritual element. So of course, if you're a Marion, use Marion. Marion is gonna be really good. Marion in general is really good for these types of fights where you need to stall for a while. So I'll go over Lufel first, I guess. So Lufel, of course, is our main healer. He'll be using a lot of skill 3. And the scary part about this is that his SP very high, 31. So a 10% buff is gonna be like 34, 35. So that's a lot. So he will be using our skill 3. And for the Revelation card, do give him the love set, because your healing is decreased, right? So you do want to increase the HP using the set. Prosperity set is useless for these fights, so remove it. We need the healing. Then we have the 4-star for the attack and more healing. And then I'll show us the screen here. Then we have An, our main DPS. She is gonna be our main DPS because we are not gonna like use DOT or anything for this fight, or at least for this guide. So you need a strong DPS. And if you have somebody like a Fox, I think Fox is probably the best character to use here because of the counter attack. Because there are 4 of them, right? And 4 of them can keep attacking Fox, and Fox can keep counter attacking. And Fox has a bunch of defense, so Fox can help you tank quite a bit. So I think Fox might be the best for this fight. If you have Yowling, also really good because she can inflict curse. So actually, right, okay, if you have both Joker and Yowling, use both of them because they are both curse, and she can inflict Forget also with the highlight and her skill 3. No, not skill 3, A0. So when you spend 1 Monk Pursuit, 50% chance to inflict Forget. It's quite useful here, and then coupled up with Wonder's own elements as well, it's going to be very useful. But anyways, let's get back to the main team. So Arm, Revelation card is a power set. Power go for more damage. I do have a 4-5-star weapon, more damage. And then we have this, the stat screen. Then we have Key. Key is of course there to debuff and then to help support Arm because of the inflicting the fire and the DOT. The DOT, honestly, I think they nerf the DOT for this fight. I think both the curse tags and the burn, they do less damage here. I don't find any way that says it is nerfed, but from playing it, I think it's nerfed. Because I was trying Sepia strategy, doesn't work. The curse damage is very low. But anyways, the Revision card, the control and awareness for more HP, and then more fire damage. Elf is 3-star weapon here. And then we have the stat screen. Navigator, of course, we are going to use Puppet. We need the tank. Skill 1 only, no skill 3. Skill 1 keep getting the CGO stacks, keep increasing the defense. Revision card, make sure to remove Prosperity set or whatever. Give the Peace and Faith set for the more defense and shield. Then we have the weapon, 4-star, more shield and defense. Then the stat screen. Now, Wonder's persona. So I've been talking about ailments and stuff. Now the question for you is, which ailment is the best for this boss? We have Vitality 4, we have Dizzy, we have Rage, we have Forget and Sleep. And the best one is actually Forget. Quite a lot of reasons actually why it's the best. So initially I was trying to use Moko because Moko can inflict the sleep. But the problem with Moko is that she's weak to curse, which the boss uses, so she's gonna die really quick. It was frustrating to use her. And not only that, her sleep only lasts for 1 turn. I think sleep in general lasts for 1 turn, but 1 turn only is really bad. And if you attack someone who is asleep, they will wake up, which means you have to speed tune Moko to be the last to move, because if Moko moves first and then you use an AoE move with An, the Forget will be gone. So sleep is not useful. And the reason why we use Forget is because Forget has the highest chance to inflict. Let me show you this. Maka Jama on 32.6% chance, Witch War 20.4. If we look at this Black Ooze, Nocturnal Flight is DZ 15.5% only. That's less than double of Forget one. It has the highest chance. And for the persona you should use, Skadi. I highly recommend Skadi because Skadi has if I'm not wrong, Forget boost 3, she learns it naturally, so you get this for free. All you need is this and these two. So you can teach Maka Jama on using Mothman. Mothman can learn the skill here, which will cost you some stamina to get sadly, but you do need it. The accuracy boost 3, if you cannot 3, you can give it 1. The higher the better, because 4 is ideal, but I don't have the resources, so it's only 3. So Skadi's job is to just spam Makajama on, keep inflicting the Forget. And the very nice thing, the other reason why Forget is good, is because it lasts for 2 turns, which is a long time. The sleep can only last for 1 turn. So this is super useful. And finally, the passive. Increase element accuracy 25.4%. So you are more likely to hit your shots, your Forget. And then not only that, you have a higher chance. Okay, this sentence I'm not 100% sure what it means. It can mean 2 things. The first thing is that if you use a spiritual element, you have an even higher chance to hit. Either that, or maybe it means that after using this, your accuracy will increase, but regardless, it still increases your accuracy. So that's 35 plus 25.4. That's 60% plus this. Still 73% element accuracy. You need to consider Wonder's own element accuracy as well. And then Forget boost. And then the pretty good base chance of 32.6% chance to inflict Forget. So it's very likely for you to keep hitting the Forget. So you just keep spamming this. So but the only one catch about Forget is that your opponents can still move when they have Forget. They can still use the basic attack, so they can still hit you. So you still need to heal up. But it's just a basic attack, so it's not gonna hit very hard. As for the other 2 personas, it doesn't really matter who you use because you'll be spamming with Skadi most of the time to inflict the Forget. If I added search for the Marakunda just in case maybe I might use it. In specific scenarios, I might be able to slot in Marakunda. Janosik there is because of the high level. And if you don't want Janosik, you can actually put like Norn or something to give a bit of sustain just in case you need some shields or some sort of healer just to sustain. So it's up to you. But Skadi I think is a must here. Now we can begin. So since they have the soul link, you don't really have to target anyone, you can just AoE damage. So you will see the comment here. The comment basically will tell you who will use the horn next turn. So these 2 first, so it's Red Rider, then White Rider. Second turn is gonna be Black Rider, Pale Rider. Then the third turn is gonna be a Trumpeter. Then it's gonna go back to these two, and this. So it's gonna be the same cycle. If you forget whose turn, then you can just look at the comment. Or you can look at the icon here on who is gonna use the horn. So there is some luck involved here because you need to land the Forget. But anyways, let's start. Whiskey 1 and Bird. So this is pretty much like a standard An team, but without Wonders buffs. So we're gonna spam Makajamon. We're gonna pray that it lands on this and these 2, because these 2 are gonna use the horn. Okay, we missed one of them. That's fine. Yeah, Whiskey 1 of them, doesn't matter who. An can just skip 3, 2 damage. 50k. That's decent. Ouch. Okay, the damage is a decent chunk. And they haven't used the horn yet. I think only this guy uses, right? So White Rider is the one that decreases the max HP. So yeah, so we skill 2 now. Do the DOT, AoE. Then again, now we pray that it's gonna aim the one on the left, which is Black Rider, and then the one on the right, which is the... Oh no, we already hit that. Already hit that. That's good. Because it's 2 turns, it will last until, you know, the next action, the next turn. We pray. Okay, all of them except for that one. Sadly. Now we need to heal. I will skill 1, do some damage. So there is gonna be one damage. You can see that the burn damage is super low. It's only 3000. Very, very low. I think it's enough in this fight. I think we need to skill 1. Oh, none of them is burnt. So the thing now is that it is... Next turn is gonna be Trumpeter's turn. Because all the 4 riders have used their horns, right? Okay, technically only 2 of them has the horns. Because I didn't inflict forget on 2 of them just now. So Trumpeter here will say 2 stacks of power rune. And 2 stacks will give the effect of damage increase. So 1 stack, 2 stacks both damage increase. But we should be able to tank, okay. So we will use this, please forget. Okay, nice, nice, nice. That's good. For highlight, I think I'll use Ant's highlight here. Let's do some more damage. Okay, decent damage. And heal. On skill 3. 66 here, not bad. Okay, maybe one more turn I think is enough. So you still use basic attack even we forget. Just remember that. But thankfully it's not that bad. Okay. Does some damage. And Trumpeter will use the almighty skill. Oh, yup, that's scary. Okay, now we skill 1. Do you think we need to burn? Then we would inflict the forget again. Okay, we didn't inflict one of the one. Oh no, this one is the one we act. But I think we'll kill it this turn anyways. So I think it's fine. Okay. Please die. Not enough. One more turn. Okay, next HP decrease. That kinda sucks. Okay, we're still doing fine. Okay. Not too bad. So one important thing here is that you want An to be the one who kill the first phase. Whoever does the finishing blow will be the last to move. So you do want An to kill, which I'm pretty sure she will. Now just do this. Read the forget. Let's hit 3 again to heal. Okay, pretty sure this kills. Okay, next phase. It's the same thing again. Exactly the same thing. So basically, you have to do this you basically have to do the same thing for 2 times in a row, which is so annoying. But anyways, let's just do this. Inflict fire. I think I don't have to use skill 1 anymore. Then we can skill 2. And then don't forget, please inflict the correct one. Okay, only one. Crap. Okay, I can skill 1. Do some damage. Then we skill 1. 39k, not bad. Ooh. Okay, we're still okay. The thing that we need to be careful is just mostly Trumpeter's almighty damage. The more stack it has, the scarier it is. Then we can still skill 2 here. Then Wonder again, please. The left and right one. Ah, the wrong one, crap. Now it's gonna have 3 stacks. So there's gonna be quite a bit of luck base here. To heal. Come on. Okay, good damage. Okay, I think one more turn. Which is good because that means Trumpeter doesn't need to act. You can kill it fast. Okay, the FME, which is the SP one. This one is the scary one. The one that increase damage as well as decrease our healing. Take me to burn. Yeah, let's burn. Okay, now Trumpeter is gonna act. Okay, you know what? Let me just forget again. Okay, now we skill. Okay, yeah, I can do this. Hopefully it dies this turn. Okay, I think it's possible. We heal again. Skill 1. Please die. Okay, nice, we got it. So it's just that one guy. Oh, that's very low damage. So now the last guy, very easy. You don't have to be afraid of this guy. This guy only has like 10,000 health only. Because 20,000 divide 2. Or even worse, 16,000 divide 2. We can just do this, I guess. Let's slowly kill it. Pretty sure I will kill this one. Only 7,000. There's no way you don't kill. Okay, that's all. Level 25 done. Not too bad.